Wiggins, and welcome back to Reawaken Your Light for Moms and Caregivers. I'm so happy that I had my glitch the other day where I was trying to go live on 3 different platforms, but you couldn't hear me on Instagram. So I learned Instagram has to be separate, right? So what I wanted to talk to you about in today's video is the fact that the finish line keeps moving. Every time you think that you got it, that it moves, right? So this week, I was speaking to 2 to 3 different people, and everybody is experiencing some type of calamity. Things are going on in their lives. One person was talking about suicide. The other person was saying, I didn't think my life would be this way right now. Someone this morning was just like, I just keep failing. Bad things keep happening to me. I keep losing people. And what I'm seeing is when people experience something a great deal of the time, it seems like everything is going wrong and you shut down and you start to blame yourself. Now, let's not, get it twisted. There are certain instances where you are in control, meaning that the choices that you have made has led you to where you are, right? We can't deny that. But then there are other instances where you don't have control over things, right? And it's like, if you don't have control over these things, now what do I do? Because I thought I was finished. I was told to go to school, to get this job, to do this, and these would be the results. But this is not the case. The finish line continues to move. What I have to say to you is you have to first center yourself, meaning you just have to be honest and say, you know what, this is the situation. This is the reality of it. Regardless of how it makes you feel, you got to be honest about what's going on. Because what I'm starting to get for me in my life is, regardless of what it looks, smells, sounds, feels like, I'm like, I refuse to speak anything negative about this situation. It could be the worst. And I'm going to give you an example. One day last week, my son got sick. I think I accidentally made him like some spoiled pancakes. I tried to save the batter and that didn't work. Moms, don't do that, right? And he got sick, and when he was in school and it was time to leave, and they were like, look, you can't bring him back tomorrow. He's not well. And he seemed like, he was down for the whole day. Like, he didn't move. And if you know my son, he's very active. So I was like, okay, he's really sick. And then the next day, I was really sick, right? Female stuff. And I couldn't get out the bed. I couldn't do anything. And I needed him to go to the store for me. But guess what? If he would have been in school, he could not have been there to take care of me. Here's the point that I'm making. What seems bad today may not actually be bad tomorrow. It might be something that's a preparation to help prepare for tomorrow. So not to look at your life as isolated incidences when you can look at it from a whole perspective. We don't know what's about to happen. We don't know what's next. So when things happen, try your best not to judge it. And when I say that, I know it kind of sounds like a little harsh, like I'm being insensitive, but I'm not. I've experienced some really traumatic things in my life, right? Things that I felt like I was never going to get over, or things that I was too embarrassed to even tell anyone about. And when I look back on it now, those difficult times, those traumatic instances helped me to become more empathetic. It helped me to become more compassionate. It helped me to listen more when people talk to me, instead of thinking like, oh, you said that XYZ happened to you. Well, I know what's going on with you. I have the solution. I realize that I don't have the solution. I realize sometimes that we may not never get answers, but I've learned, and it's kind of like what Paul said. I've learned to be content and not that I'm satisfied and I'm saying that this is how this is and it's always going to be this way. So I might as well just accept it for what it is. Content in the sense that if For example, when my children and I were sleeping in a hotel room, I had to be content with that. Because if I made it in my mind, oh my gosh, this is the most terrible thing. We're in a hotel. We don't have our own place. We don't have anywhere to live. The thoughts of it, hello, Abdul, the thoughts of it alone would have taken me under. The thought of it would have taken me out. Well, what are other people thinking, and what are other people saying? Instead, I said to myself, okay, this is where I am now. And the kind of irony of it is, I was working at the time for a social service agency, and I was actually in that situation. So it was like a total oxymoron. It didn't make sense. And I've learned, keep going. The finish line keeps moving. And I think that that's always kind of my message to you guys. And I know it's not easy to keep going at work, to keep going when you feel like you're not being appreciated or valued at work, when it feels like you're not being appreciated or valued at home. Like, does anybody see me? Does anybody hear me? Like, I'm trying my best, and I'm even trying better and better every day, but it seems like things are getting worse. This is what I would invite you to do. I host a weekly group on Saturdays. The other day I said Friday, and I apologize, but I'm hosting a weekly group on Saturdays for moms and caregivers. And we come on and everyone just shares. Everyone talks about exactly, you share what you feel comfortable sharing. And, you know, it's usually people on the line who's able to offer support, resources. Where do you live? Well, maybe I know somebody in that area who can, right? Always a mom, dog mom, just a mom. But the point is, I want you to feel like you're heard. I want you to feel like you're supported. I am honestly, it kind of like grieves me when I see these stories of these moms who commit suicide, these moms who hurt their children, or they do, things, unthinkable things, because they felt like they didn't have anyone. Well, I'm surrendered. Here I am. I'm Elise Wiggins, and I want to support moms and caregivers who are either in the workforce and thinking of leaving because of burnout, or you want to return to the workforce. But then there's so much stuff that's happening in your personal life that it just seems like it's overwhelming and it's too much. Support is here. Every Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come on, feel heard, feel supported. If you are in the Bergen County area, I will be hosting a Dress for Success. If you're a mom or a caregiver and you want to return to work, but you don't have any clothes, we're actually going to be donating clothes. It's going to be from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Friday, May 12th at the Inglewood Public Library. I invite you all to come out. It's a free event. We're going to have food, prizes, referrals, resources, you're going to be in a community of other people who just need to be heard, who just need to be supported. Now, and I'm going to probably say this all the time, this is going to be my disclaimer. If you feel like your energy isn't right, and there are days when I know my energy isn't right, where I'm like, look, let me back up. If you feel like you're not in the right goods, you're not in the right space spiritually, mentally, don't come. Don't come. But if you feel as if you're not there, but maybe this event can help you, then come. What's the difference? The difference is there's no confrontation at these events. The difference is there's no ego at the event. When you wouldn't know me from another participant. You know why? Because I'm like you. I know what it's like to be burned out. I know what it's like to feel frustrated. I know what it's like not to feel heard. I know what it's like for you to be hurt and somebody say, oh, you'll be all right. Get over it. Keep going. No, let me stay here for a moment. So maybe if I sit here for a moment and I analyze it and I internalize how I'm really feeling and I sit through it, I might not have to go through it again. Maybe I keep going through the same things because I never actually take the time to feel it, deal it, and heal it. Right? And that's why we're going back in these circles. That's why it seems like our lives are following these negative patterns, because we're in denial about how we feel about this. So it's time to get out of denial. The finish line keeps moving. We have to move too, but let's move collectively. Let's move together. So If you feel like this message resonates with you or someone you know, share it, like it, comment. I will respond. I hope that I'll see you on Saturday. I'll leave the link down in the comment area. And if you are able to attend the in-person event, you are more than welcome. So I'm going to continue with my phrase. My tagline is, don't wait for leaders, become one.